Alright, let's check out these knives. I got a Spyderco Para3 lightweight on the left here, and we have a Spyderco Para3 in, this is an exclusive, it's a s35vn version with a flat dark earth G10. Without further ado, let's get into this video real quick of a comparison of these two knives. We'll start out with the weight. Now, lightweight, obviously, Spyderco Para3 lightweight should be quite a bit lighter than a regular Para3, so let's check out the weight. On my scale here, it's in ounces. It's 2.41 ounces. We'll slide that over and close the Para3, and it is 3.45. So it's 1 ounce heavier, 1.04 ounce heavier for a regular Para3. I'm not sure if the different steels that you may get might be a little bit slightly different in weight, just based off the metallurgy. Like I said, this is the S35VN version. The standard is a S30V. I was able to get my hands on this because apparently it wasn't too popular when it came out. I guess because it's not a superior steel to S30V. But when I was looking at a new Para3, after getting my initial one, which was the Para3 lightweight, I just wanted to get something a little bit different. This was the only thing available at the time, so I picked it up. Been pretty happy with it. Now, my initial experience when I got my Para3 lightweight was that the material, like the reinforced nylon here, looks cool. I've got some compliments on it, like, wow, that's a cool looking knife. Although it does feel a little slick in my opinion, even though it has some grip texture in here. I believe it's the contouring on the sides, which to me that's where it makes it kind of really extremely slick and not as trusty of a knife in my own experience. You know, I wouldn't really hand this to somebody who's not familiar with knives just because it may fly out of their hands. I don't know. Another thing is this has one phosphor bronze washer in it, and all Para3 lightweights come with it, to my knowledge, and that makes the blade centering a little bit off eventually. You know, when I initially got this, the centering was perfect, and after the 8-9 months or so of having this, it did unfortunately go over to one side, and I have tried to straighten that out, but one washer. I'm almost wondering if there's an aftermarket option to just add a second washer, if that would even work. I don't think it would, but when I initially got this, I did like how smooth it was, and I've gotten other compliments from just people handling this knife as well, like, wow, that's a smooth knife. In my experience now, it doesn't feel, it feels a little different, and I think it's kind of smooth because of that one side is on the plastic or the reinforced nylon, and it's not a consistent feeling. It's not very drop sheddy, although it is drop sheddy, but not the same as a traditional knife with two phosphor bronze washers like this guy. The Para3, it's always been centered from the start. I've never messed with it. Never had to. It's stayed centered. It's very snappy. It almost reminds me of like a Civivi, just the overall knife itself and how snappy it is, because I do have a Civivi Hooligan, I think, the McCarter version, and to me it was similar size, and how snappy it is, it felt very similar, but definitely smoother, And when I got this Para3 lightweight, and I was pretty happy with it, and I did carry it for quite a while, but I knew in my mind, I was like, I know a regular Para3 is just going to be better, because in my experience, the grippiness, I need that grippiness texture. I like that more, and also the steel. The steel that comes on a Para3 lightweight is CTS BD1N. You can get this satin version, or you can get I believe it's a DLC blade, coated black. And yeah, I mean, they're both compression locked. They're both designed almost exactly the same blade stock. And the hardware on a Para3 lightweight does stick out a little bit on both sides here. And for these rear screws, you got one side for that rear screw, whereas this one on the Para3, you got flush hardware, and then the screws are on both sides back here. Also, the lanyard hole is in a different location, if you haven't noticed. Lanyard hole for the Para3 lightweight is knocked over here, and then the regular Para3, which, even though this is the S35VN version, it's still the same design as a standard Para3, which is an S30V. Different color, obviously, of G10. Got a large lanyard hole back here, and what that does is it actually changes, you know, the pocket clip position is really low. It's actually lower than a Paramilitary 2, and it's not a deep carry clip like you get with a Para3 lightweight. So that's another pro to the Para3 lightweight. Got deep carry pocket clip way up high. It sinks in your pocket, disappears. Whereas on your traditional Para3, you got it really sticks out quite a bit of ways above the pocket, and very noticeable. It's not very discreet. Now both of these knives have been very well used and carried. Typically, I carry 3 inches or less because at work that's the requirement. And this one has been carried a little bit more because I do prefer it, even though it does stick out. I have looked into options as like a Lynch clip. You can get a clip that's a deep carry clip, same mounting location obviously, but it just goes up and over, so it will sink in your pocket a little bit better. So I'm definitely looking into that. You don't get the contouring really on a standard Para3 that you'd get on a Para3 lightweight, although I will mention again that contouring is pretty slick. You get the contouring here, and you get here, and you get the contouring also where the compression lock is. And yeah, no contouring on your standard Para3. Really, it's really boxy, just like your Paramilitary 2. Although I will note, compared to a Paramilitary 2, it does stick up higher. We can do a comparison here on the M4 version. So look at the comparison of a Paramilitary 2 and a Para3. So I guess because, you know, the way that the handle is, it's shorter. So this will stick out further above your pocket, about 1/8 of an inch, maybe even 1/4 of an inch. And also the width, because of how the spider hole is up here and the placement where it's at, I guess the width, I just recently learned, is going to be a little bit taller on your Para3, just barely, than a Paramilitary 2. This is the Tonto version, so I'm not sure if that's an accurate portrayal of the difference, but you get an idea. Yeah, anyways, for a little bit more, I would recommend even the standard Para3 because of the grippiness and the blade centering. You know, it's about 30, 40 bucks more, but you get a better steel, you get more grip, get blade centering. And that's just my opinion. You know, you can take what you want from this video, and it's just for information purposes. Thank you.